Hello, hello, welcome, happy Wednesday, welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. This is my weekly live, so welcome if you're new, welcome if you've been watching for a while. I'm going to remember this time to say, make sure you say hi if you're watching. I love to see who's watching. It doesn't always tell me who is watching, so it's always great to hear from you. Let me know where you're watching from, if you're watching the replay. If you have any questions, you can always ask questions, even if you're watching the replay. Hopefully I'll catch them. I am happy to answer questions. Today, I'm actually super excited about these cards. I don't always love cards. You know, when you kind of create something and you're like, I really struggled with the swap I was doing. And I ended up, I do like them. I don't know if I love them. And one of the cards today that I created, I love it. So anyways, hopefully you love them just as much as I do. We're going to be having, it's kind of something new because it's not really, we're using Stampin' Up! Product in that we're going to be using the Pick of the Patch bundle and also the, I don't remember what it's called, the leaf one, the big sweet with the leaves. It's just the leaves that we're using. But anyways, we're using pieces and parts of a bunch of things. But we're primarily looking at recycling. I called it scraps, but really it's not scraps. Last week we made our own ink pads using baby wipes. And so I said, don't throw away baby wipes because it leaves cool patterns. Let them dry, set them aside, and then today I'm going to show you how you can use those to create even more fun stuff with the wipes that you use to make ink pads. So, you know, it's just a way of not throwing it out and doing something cool with it. So hopefully you like this. And I'm going to get you turned around. And I do apologize. I forgot to post a reminder this morning. I realized it was like 11:55. It's like, oh, I didn't post a picture. Anyways, hopefully you guys will still find me and remember that it's the usual Wednesday at noon. And yeah, anyways, let's get turned around here as I bring you up close and personal. Okay. All right, if you are looking for any of the products, hang on, sorry, that I am using, they can be found on my online store. If you put in an order, you can use this code as long as it's under $200. If you're over $200, don't use the code because you'll get rewards for yourself. And if you are over $200, perhaps you should think about joining my team. It is a good way to get your stuff at a discount. All right, sorry, I'm just trying to pull up my video so I can see comments, hopefully. All right, let's get started. So, like I said, I had saved my baby wipes from last week. I had some, this one is from another project I did, some cool colors. These ones are from last week. So I let them dry and then I just put them into an empty stamp case. That way I can see what's in there. Like if I just put things in boxes, I just lose them. Like, look at this. This would make a really cool butterfly of sorts. Anyways, don't throw your stuff away. You can't keep everything. I don't keep everything, but I have a friend, Yolande, if you're watching, I don't know if you're watching, she's great at reusing things and she always tells me, don't throw it away. So she's in my head for this one. Anyways, oh, there was also another, well, actually I'm going to pull it out right now because it'll be the first one that I do. Okay, so we have, this is a half. I cut it, I kind of stretched it out so I could get more out of it. And I stretched it out, so this is one from last week. And the thing that you need to do to be able to really use these effectively is to stiffen it up, right? So what I've done is I just have a piece of basic white, and then I've got a piece of adhesive sheet. And I'm just gonna peel my adhesive sheet. They're in sections, so I'm just gonna start with one section here. I just find it easier to put down without getting it bubbled up and all sorts of craziness. So we'll just keep going. And then, you know, I don't have nails, so it's always a little more challenging to peel things. That is where the take-a-pick tool comes into play if needed. Okay, so I made the mistake. I don't know, it was total fluke. I don't know if I thought about this. You want to put the adhesive sheet on your paper. For some reason, I took a big sheet before and I put the adhesive sheet on here first. It is very difficult to then pull this backing off because it just wants to pull the fibers and it makes it all fuzzy. So make sure you put it on the cardstock first, not your fabric. I don't know, do you consider a baby white fabric? And then you want to choose the side, probably the less fuzzy side is ideal. And then you're just gonna put it down. And again, you want to try and not get the bubbles, but if you run it through your big shot with just some plain plates, you can get it really nice and flat and well stuck. You could do this with glue, but it would be very messy as you're trying to flatten it. You'd have to have another, like maybe wax paper or something, or your silicone sheet, and then you'd have to let it dry and it would probably still be sticky. So I don't know if glue is the best option. You could use a bunch of your Stampin' Seal, but you really want the whole thing stuck down, so that's why I find the adhesive sheets nice. So now you can see I have some extra. So in the perfect world, I would go and cut this, but since we are on a bit, actually I am going to cut it because I forgot. It'll be easier to run it through. Let me see. I don't know actually. It is handy. Look at that. I always forget about this little mini chopper of mine that I have. All right. Chop it like that. The only problem is it only measures to here, so you have to do very small things. I do have the big version, and I'm going to cut it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Although it is easier to cut down on the fabric. And actually, I want my piece to be, this is the part I forgot, 3. So I'm going to go to the 3 here. Actually, I kind of, yeah, that's okay. Let's go like that. And I'm not sure if this is the right length, but it's probably close. So I'm going to start with that. Set this aside. And then we've got our baby wipes stuck to our paper. Then we're going to pull out our our baby boss here. And then we have these Cherry Patterns embossing folders. These are in our new mini catalog that just released at the beginning of September. I'm going to use the bubbles because, you know, this kind of blue background bubbles all seems to go well. And now I don't know, I'm guessing it's the same sandwich as the big one. So we go 1, 2, 3. Because these are not, these aren't 3D. Maybe not. Maybe I should read it. I don't use my mini very often. That's the die cutting. This is not a cutting. What if I just tried these two? Nope. Maybe it is. I really think it is, but let's try these two. It's not very tight. All right, well, let's try this. I think this is even narrower. Let's try a plate and we'll just keep trying. What does it say? This is 3D embossed. That's what I thought. So it's this. This should be the right sandwich. I don't know why we're not working here. Well, let's see how it did with just the 2 plates. It kind of, okay, hang on. One moment, please. I'm gonna go run it through my Big Boss. Quickly, give me 1 second. Oh, it is. Okay. It is the 2 clear. I am losing my mind. Okay. All right. Pretend I ran this through. So I think it is just these 2. Nope. It's these. It is these. This is what I used in the big one. So anyways, I don't know what's going on. I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to post it. Whoops. Okay, I'm like tornado here. Okay, so ran it through the Big Boss, and then you get a nice impression if you have the right sandwich going. And you've got nice bubbles. Isn't that pretty? And it's, you know, it's not paper you haven't done, and you're just reusing something to make a really pretty background. All right, then I'm gonna take the pick of the patch stamp set, and this bundle comes with a punch instead of dies, which is nice. And then we're going to stamp some pumpkins with Pretty Peacock. I've used Pretty Peacock, I think, in almost all my cards today. I'm thinking I like it. All right, so, oops, I forgot I didn't clean my stamp. Okay, so the first 2, I don't need the leaf, so we'll just kind of go like so. And then we will, oops, that one, and this one. Great. 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that is correct. And then it's as simple as, so you might be wondering how to mount this. All I did was punch out a template into cardstock. Here, I have it here. And then you can just line up your stamps on it and then stick your block down, and voila, they're in the right place for punching all your stamps. I have shown it in more detail in previous videos, so if you're looking for how to do that, you can go watch. So 2 of them are punched with the punch, because as you know, I am not a huge fussy cutter person, but the other 2 did have to get fussy cut, which isn't the end of the world. I am not going to bore you by fussy cutting. You can, oh my goodness, that's crazy. It hit right in the right spot for a stem. That's funny. That was not planned. All right, so pretend I have all 4, and I'm just gonna pull, actually before I do that, I need to pull out. So I took the Garden Walk Designer Series paper, and I'm not sure which one I used now because I cannot find it. Let's just pull it out. It'll be easier to find. This one. So I took this stripe and I just cut a piece of it, and then, so I just put it behind my pumpkins, and then I put dimensionals on the back of each of my pumpkins, layered them up there, took a leaf, and the stem are done with Lost Lagoon just to lighten it up a little. And then I heat embossed the white embossing powder with the Harvest of Blessings, which is one of the sentiments from the stamp set, which I have now, oh, that's right here. Right here. And then I use these pretty, oh my gosh, I've used these so much. I just love these pearls. They are the Blooming Pearls from that same, the Garden Walk suite. The colors in here are just so pretty. Do you guys like these colors? I love Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. I was so happy when they came back. All right, so that's the first thing you can do with your baby wipe. Create a background. You could use it flat or you can texturize it. I did run another one through that I wanted to show you if I can find it. Here it is. So this is a retired embossing, why can't I come up with my words? Folder. But I really like the leaves, so I don't know if you can see that in the video, but so I just embossed the leaves on there. So you can do lots of really nice backgrounds with your wipes and embossing folders. Okay, that is card number 1. Let me wipe that off before I stick it in the other ink pad for the next card. All right. Okay, set this aside, set this aside. Our next one is this. So this was one of the sheets from last week. I ended up, it had just more of the pinks and the reds. I spritzed it. I just happened to have a yellow. I think it's Daffodil Delight that's in here. I couldn't really tell you. So I just spritzed it and then I left it to dry. I also spritzed it with some, I have a, when we had the shimmer paint, I put some shimmer paint, if I can find it, in one of our spritzers, and then I just added alcohol, and so it gives me a shimmery spritz. So I just spritzed those two just to kind of fill in the white because I just thought it was too stark and I wanted to do something fall. So I just thought yellow would be a good combo. So again, you're going to stick that down to paper. I have one already, a piece of my other one still done. So I'm just going to use that since you already saw how to do that. And then I wanted to show, on top of just being able to use it as background, the other thing you can do is you can stamp on it and you can punch it. So if I can find my, here they are. I've got Flirty Flamingo because I think that's one of the colors anyways it goes with, and I didn't want it too dark because I still want to see these colors come through. Just want to make sure this goes this way, so if I stamp it this way I should be good. I'm going to take the leaf off because I don't need that. And then my Flirty Flamingo. I'm just going to stamp that there. Now, just be forewarned, it does pull up the fibers a little bit. So you want to make sure that you rinse off your stamps or wipe them so that you don't have all sorts of fibers on there. And it doesn't pull too bad, but it will kind of stay a bit wetter than stamping it on paper because it doesn't really, I don't think it absorbs as well, or I don't know. So I just, to be safe, I like to dry it before handling it just to make sure it is good and on there. And then I'm going to take my gourd, or I don't know, is that a gourd? Pumpkin with my Daffodil Delights. more of the yellowy here. So you can kind of still see the colors through, but you've got the pumpkin detail, I guess. Could probably have used a lighter yellow for it to pop a little more, maybe like lemon lolly, but anyways, it's good enough. So then again, I found when I punched this out, you know what would be smart is if I used my Stamparatus and I stamped it on both sides, because then I could punch it from the other. Actually, no, this is good because it punches down the fibers through first. It is a bit more difficult to punch than just paper, so be forewarned. And you can see it's kind of, so it's the fibers are still kind of stuck, so you just want to, like, you can see how it's pulling, so you're gonna have some fibers to deal with. Come on, come out, come out. So you can see how it's kind of pulling there. So I just give your pumpkins a trim. If you're using this for something like animals or something that has fur, oh, you know what this would be good for is the polar bear in that bear suite. Oh, that would be so, okay, I just had a brilliant idea. Next time, totally doing this to make bears. And then they'll look furry, or like horses or any of the animals that are furry. This would be a good thing to do. But for pumpkins, I don't think you want furry pumpkins. So take the fur off your pumpkins. People might think they're rotten. And then for this one, we have to fussy cut it, so which makes it a cleaner cut. So just be forewarned, when punching, it does make it a little messier. Next up, I'm going to show you that you can die cut your baby wipes. It does cut much cleaner, similar to cutting with scissors, unlike the punches. So then you know ahead of time that if you're going to go punch it, you're going to have the fuzz. So you can see it's much less clean. I guess there's still a bit of fuzz. Not as much though. But see, isn't that pretty? So you still get the pretty details, but you get the fun of the wipe. My words are just, holy cow. All right, I'm losing my mind here. Next, I embossed a piece of Very Vanilla with that beautiful distressed tile embossing folder. I think I used this last week also. It is so pretty. I love the distressed. I love that it's not perfect. It's perfect that way. All right, so then I decided I had seen a card done by one of our artisans, and this isn't the same, but it kind of similar effect. Laid that on, took my pumpkins, and then voila, you have you're the pick of the patch. So again, this is a sentiment from the pick of the patch stamps, and then I used the pearls. Again, I used the pink ones. They're probably Flirty Flamingo. I'm not totally sure. What does it say on the back? No, it says in the catalog. Anyways, and then I embossed with our copper powder. So I really like this. It's pretty. I think I like the colors more than anything. Okay, that's number 2. So that's punching and cutting and stamping on your baby wipes. Lastly, like I mentioned, you can die cut your baby wipes, and it works quite well. And we're gonna veer off of the pick of the patch here for this one. And pull over, so we need these two, not these. And we need our pretty peacock again. And then we are going to, so here I have I'm using this one from, I don't know when this was from. It was just in the case sitting there waiting for me to use it. I think it was one that Yolanda actually was in my ear. She was watching and said, don't throw it away. So I didn't throw it away. And guess what? Now I'm using it. So I put the whole sheet onto, this is the one I messed up and put it onto the baby wipe first, the adhesive sheet. And then, so it was, I mean, I managed to do it, but it was a struggle. So not recommended. Put your adhesive sheet on here. I'll do it one more time, just so it sticks in your head, because, you know, obviously it doesn't stick in my head, but maybe I just have a horrible memory, which I know I do. So make sure you take your adhesive and you stick it on your cardstock, not on your baby wipe first. Okay, and then it makes it a lot easier to pull it off. Does anyone else use their Take-A-Pic tool for pretty much everything that requires nails? It's my go-to tool. I couldn't live without it. All right, so then I think it's wide enough. I don't want to distort it too much. I'm just gonna kind of take it here, lay it gently. Like so, and then you've got a nice flat sheet. And again, you would just kind of cut where the adhesive is sticking and have a nice flat, you can run it through. But if you're die cutting from it, it's going to be run through the machine anyways. Like this one's been run through several times, and you can see how flat and nice. It has a bit of, like, you know, it has a nice soft texture to it. It's almost like felt or suede, or I don't know, but it's really a nice texture. So then I've got these leaves, which come from the Autumn Leaves dies. It's such a beautiful suite. Sorry. I just put them on here, ran it through, and you can see I already ran it through the magic of television. We have our leaves here. And these leaves are so pretty with the little detail. Look at that. Like, look at the colors. Oh, you couldn't do that if you tried, or I couldn't. Like, look at that. Where do you get leaves with those kind of colors? And this is just from keeping a baby wipe and then die cutting it some beautiful leaves out. Like, seriously, you guys. So pretty. Like, I love fall colors. I don't know about you. This is like my dreaminess right there. Right there. That's dream. All right. Then we've got, if I can find it, I should have a piece of paper here. Don't tell me I used the wrong piece of paper. I don't know where my paper is. Okay, I'll just use this one. All good. And then I took my stencil here. This is from the Abundant Beauty Decorative Masks. I showed these already. They're another new product in the mini catalog. Really nice one. They have the beautiful, it's the one that has the nice sunflowers. So I'm sticking my paper down, I'm sticking my stencil down, and I did not wash it, which, you know what, I should wipe it unless I follow. If you're gonna follow the same colors, it's fine. If you're not gonna follow the same colors, it's not so great, because you're gonna get a blending of colors. So just be forewarned, if you don't want your colors to blend, make sure you start with a clean stencil. If you don't mind colors blending, then that's okay. So I decided I wanted to add some yellow in here, but there wasn't too much yellow in my baby wipe. So I ended up choosing wild wheat, which kind of is that greeny yellow, gold. I don't know. I figured it was kind of a fallish color. So just gonna put some here. And some there. Okay, maybe a bit more. Then we'll do the brown, because I think the Pretty Peacock is kind of the darkest of the colors, and it's a very juicy ink pad too, so I have to be a little more careful. Okay, and then we'll take our Pretty Peacock here. And this one I'm really going to kind of wipe off before. And you want to kind of go into the next color. You want it to kind of blend, because your leaves, right, are not one solid color. So it's nice to get that blending of colors. Like so. And I find if you get the blue and the wild wheat kind of combining, it kind of goes green. This is kind of cool. All right, my hands are a mess now. Let's do the ta-da moment. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? All right, so you can see how where the brown, well, even so there's one green when you get the Pretty Peacock and the yellow, and then when you get the brown and the yellow, you kind of get a different green. So you really have almost 4 colors, 5 colors instead of 3. So that's pretty cool. So we've got that as our background. So instead of using our baby wipe as a background, we made a background for this. And then I took a piece of, again, it's from the same the Garden Walk Designer Series paper, because it has the Pretty Peacock. But what I decided to do was I wanted to put this in the middle, but I didn't want to go so small. So what I did is I took my ribbon. This is from the, can't think what it's called, the leaves one, the Falling Leaves suite. There's this ribbon and the copper ribbon. I think it might be back ordered right now, but it's supposed to come back soon. Okay, so I cut it in half. You could use a trimmer and cut it quicker, I guess, if you wanted to. And then I find the easiest thing is to put my adhesive on my paper, and then I can just stick this. So you want to kind of hold it taut so that it's straight. I like it straight anyways. Depends what look you're going for. Okay, and then, ooh, don't stick it down to your paper. And then you can do the top one. Oops, I just moved that. There. And then I just trimmed it to the size of the paper. Or you could wrap it around, but I think it's easier this way. There. And then I had that. Then I took my leaves here. I wanted to add them on, so I just kind of just play with whatever, however you end up wanting it, maybe like that. Then I needed a sentiment, so I'll just pull in my paper here. And I don't know if you noticed, and I don't think I even pointed it out on my last card here, I had a similar paper. This is the oxidized, it's called oxidized copper paper. It comes in Pretty Peacock, or is it Lost Lagoon? No, Pretty Peacock, although it looks more like Lost Lagoon to me, but it goes with either. And then it has just all copper. I mean, it's super busy to look at like this, but then you can see if you use it in small amounts, it really adds some pizzazz to your projects. So this one, I have the copper piece in behind, which really adds some shine. I have my leaves. I have just my sentiment. Now, you can see it's not like your typical sharp edge. And I used this new hexagon punch. It's called the Heartfelt Hexagon, excuse me. It is it's the bundle that they released for World Card Making Day. So there's 3 bundles I should post it again, that they're going to use. World Card Making Day, you can go on and you can register to be part of it for free. It is for everyone. Stampin' Up! Will be leading a card making event on October 7th, which is World Card Making Day. And if you have the 3 bundles, you'll be able to make all 3 the way that they're making them. If you have one, you can still change things up to make them all with whatever you have, but you should probably have one of the bundles to make it easier, but you can use whatever you have. If you purchase one of the bundles and use my code, I will send you the card kit to make the cards for World Card Making Day. So you don't have to have all the other stuff. I will send that to you, but you have to be in Canada to do that. Yeah, so that's where I just stuck this in. Let me see if I can find a piece of paper here. So I had it stamped, and then I have to, it would help if it was open. And then you kind of have to look where I don't know if the video can catch that. There's like an opening there. So you have to be able to get it into the opening to slide it in. So you can see if I keep pushing it through, or you could slide it the other way if that's easier, whatever. Try and get it centered and then punch. And then that's how I have the more rounded edge, in case you were wondering. Alrighty-o. So those are my projects for today. Hopefully you enjoyed those as much as I enjoyed making them. They were so much fun, and I love that I used things that I already had, or basically what I usually would consider garbage. I would normally toss those in the garbage. I can't find my first card. Here it is. So anyways, I thought that was kind of exciting, and I just love these colors. What do you think? Not well, this is more typical fall colors, but yum. What do you think? Let me know. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it gets you to maybe save some of your stuff that you use and try and reuse it, because look at the fun stuff you can make. All right. Hopefully you have a great rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday. All right. Bye.